Good morning. Let's talk about the Quran. I'm a Christian and I recently started studying the Quran because I was curious and wanted to read it. I'm still at the beginning of it, but I wanted to share some of my thoughts and my findings so far because I was, genuinely, surprised by a lot of it. First of all, I did not know that Muslims believe that the Quran is, the final book in, the series, if you will, like the Torah, the Gospels, and then the Quran. I knew that we believed in the same God, but, I didn't know that. I also wasn't expecting the Quran to mention, Bible characters so much. How it talks about Jesus and Abraham and Moses and the Garden of Eden and things like that. I knew that Muslims believed that Jesus was a prophet, they respect him as, a prophet of God. But I didn't expect that much. In the beginning, Muhammad, when it's going over his backstory, Muhammad even talks about the second coming of Christ and the Antichrist. So that was really interesting. But there was one verse that really caught my attention today that I thought was really cool. There's some stuff about prayer and charity, and then it says, "And they say, no one shall ever enter paradise unless they are Jews or Christians. This is nothing but their fancy. Say, bring your proof, if what you say is true. Rather, it is those who submit their entire self to God and do good, who shall have their reward in their Lord. They shall have no fear, nor shall they grieve." The Jews say Christians have no basis for their beliefs, while the Christians say Jews have no basis for their beliefs. Yet they both read the book, and those with no knowledge say the same thing. But God will judge between them on the day of resurrection about the issues they dispute. And who is more unjust than someone who prevents the remembrance of God's name in houses of worship, and strives to desolate them? Such people should enter their houses only with awe. They will face disgrace in this world and great torment in the thereafter. So how I interpreted that was basically saying, okay, you're going to hear a lot of people say that only Jews and Christians will make it to paradise, but they're only saying that because it suits their interest. The Jews still think the Christians are wrong, and the Christians still think that the Jews are wrong. In reality, what matters most of all is that you love God and love others, and you try to do good in this world, regardless of your specific label. And the real injustice is trying to prevent somebody else from loving God simply because their theology is a bit different than yours. Hopefully that was a correct interpretation. But it reminded me of a Bible podcast that I was listening to recently, where they were saying that, if you make space for God, He will fill it, no matter who you are or, where you are. God isn't necessarily looking for people who have the exact, right theology on everything and know all their stuff. He's looking for people who want to help him put the world back together. People who want to love others and do good. I think it's a very important thing to remember as well. Because we can spend so much time fighting over religion and who's right and who's wrong and creating so many different branches that we lose the plot. We forget that the whole point is loving God and loving others. So I thought that was a nice reminder.